Hey, what is up guys? It is SgamingR here, bringing you the 9th playthrough of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. As last episode, we killed our first dragon normal in the air, and we absorbed its soul. If you guys don't remember, we learned that shout back in Bleak Falls Barrow, Unrelenting Force, and we've just learned and how shouts work is that you learn the words, but you can't use the shout. That's why when I learned the words back in Bleak Falls Barrow, I didn't bother trying to go to magic and go to shouts and trying to use it because you need to absorb dragon souls to use shout. So generally, when other people are around you while you're killing dragons, they'll always be like, "Oh my god, what the hell just happened? Why did that dragon soul just go into you?" And here's where we learn about the first thing about Dragonborn, which is what we are, which means we can absorb dragon souls. Now, Dragonborn could shout, and there are many Nords can shout. You don't have to be Dragonborn to shout. However, Dragonborns don't need extensive training, as we'll see later on. There is a group of Nords who can shout, and anyone can shout. It just takes practice, but Dragonborns can do it very easily. So you don't have to shout right there. I just did it because I wanted to prove my dominance over these guys and show them I'm a boss.
Dragonborn who can kill dragons and steal their power. You must be one.
What do you say, Irileth? Come on, Irileth. Tell us, do you believe in this Dragonborn business?
Some of you would be better off keeping quiet than flapping your gums on matters you don't know anything about. Here's a dead dragon, and that's something I definitely understand.
Two things. I was so scared when I did that shout. Like, I thought they were just gonna start running after me and hitting me because I did do damage to them. And generally when you do damage to someone in Skyrim, they will retaliate. And then right there it says flapping your gums, a matter you don't know about. But it's funny because she's a high elf and these guys are Nords, so they know a lot more than her. Yeah, it's so funny in Skyrim. You can just make anyone feel uncomfortable. Just go up to them really close, and then they'll kind of step back, and some of them will even say, like, "What are you doing?" Like the woman will be like, "Don't." The woman will be like, "Don't try anything here." It's amusing how realistic this game can be sometimes. So the shout is very cool. It's what it does is, right now we only have learned one word, and in shouts there are 3 words which make it the most powerful it can be. And so we only learned one word right now, which was the word we learned back in Bleak Falls Barrow at the end, where we collected the Dragonstone, and that is Foos. First word of the shout. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of Foos Roda, which is Unrelenting Force, and as I said, it pushes the enemy back. Foos Roda has the capability of, making enemies go flying, but Foos at its first stage, without knowing the other 2 words, is not that powerful and not that great. So now we have to go back to Jarl to tell him that we've successfully killed the dragon. So you can walk back to Whiterun, or you can just fast travel to Whiterun. Anyway, any way you go, a courier will come up to you. And if you don't know what a courier is, it's someone who delivers letters back in the old age, when there wasn't email or phone, obviously. So this letter is from the Graybeards, which are a group, and right there, that shaking is, so many mini cutscenes here. This Oligar warrior, it's completely irrelevant to what I was doing right now. It's this group of red guards. I don't know if you could see it. It's quite dark. Red guards are the, for lack of words, the black people of Skyrim. And they just want me to find some red guard woman somewhere here in Whiterun. That's another quest, nothing you have to do. That is in my time of need. It's a completely different quest. Continuing on to the quest, we have to go to the Jarl. That shaking right there was a group of members who live on one of the highest mountains in Skyrim, actually the highest mountain, and they're called the Graybeards. And what they do is they're the people who practice shouting. They're not Dragonborn, but they're really good at shouting. and they do teach you a lot later on. So them calling Dovahkiin, which means dragonborn in the dragon language, is them calling you to go to their place in High Hrothgar, which we'll be doing. We'll be on the path there this episode, and then arrive there by next episode. And then the letter, which was given to us by the courier, was them pretty much telling us to, you know, get our ass over there, because we are newly discovered dragonborn in an age where dragons are completely just came out of nowhere, and then the only hope is the dragonborn, which is us. So go ahead and go to Dragon's Reach, where the Jarl of Whiterun resides. Jarl Balgruuf, if I'm saying his name correctly. It's quite an interesting name. Nord. All of them. You know, the only normal name, actually, is probably, you know, there actually is really none. I can't think of it at the top of my head. Names we would hear in this age. 2011. So if you guys remember, I borrowed that sword from this guy's daughter, Adrian. Not borrow, she asked me to give Balgruuf's sword to her father so that her father could give it to the Jarl as a present. So that was a small quest right there, completed. Mini quest. So this is an interesting little fact right here. The reason this place is called Dragon's Reach is because it is used to capture dragons and hold them. Not in this area, but in another room, which is a giant open place, and then the dragon would fly in and get trapped. And we'll see it later on in the game. We do use it. Okay, I'm actually just gonna cut off my commentary here so you can hear this part.
Masters of the way of the voice. They live in seclusion high on the slopes of the throat of the world. The Dragonborn is said to be uniquely gifted in the voice, the ability to focus your vital essence into a thum, or shout. If you really are Dragonborn, they can teach you how to use your gift.
Didn't you hear the thundering sound as you returned to Whiterun? That was the voice of the Graybeards, summoning you to High Hrothgar. This hasn't happened in centuries, at least. Not since Tibeseptim himself was summoned when he was still Talos of Atmora.
Rungar, calm yourself. What does any of this Nord nonsense have to do with our friend here? Capable as he may be, I don't see any signs of him being this, Dragonborn.
Nord nonsense? Why, you puffed up ignorant.
You've done a great service for me and my city, Dragonborn. By my right as Jarl, I name you Thane of Whiterun. It's the greatest honor that's within my power to grant. I assign you Lydia as a personal housecarl, and this weapon from my armory to serve as your badge of office. I'll also notify my guards of your new title. Wouldn't want them to think you're part of the common rabble, now would we? We are honored to have you as Thane of our city, Dragonborn. Hrongar.
So a couple things, we get a free weapon, awesome, and we get a personal housecarl, which is our first follower. She follows us around anywhere. You know, carries our stuff, she's like a beast of burden, and she will help us fight. This is her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've seen videos of people dying her off a cliff, and etc, etc. She can die, keep a note, when she's following you. However, she does have very good armor for your levels. She has full steel, which is quite good. And then just ask her to follow you, and there you go, first follower. Now, we are also Thane of the city, which means that a couple things I'm not entirely sure. If you hit a guard and you don't do if you don't do that much damage, then they won't retaliate because they know you're Thane now. And that's the highest honor, as the Jarl said, that he can grant upon you. So that means you are pretty much a boss of Whiterun. So we have completed Whiterun. We own this city now. So if you want, you can go ahead and talk to the villagers. They do have a lot of quests you can do. There's a lot of quests you can do here in Whiterun. Just talk to a lot of people and you get a ton of things One thing you could do is go to the shrine, the temple of Kynareth, and there's a nice quest there to retrieve a good dagger for your level. If you would like a nice dagger, if you like sneaking around and being that stealthy guy who cuts people's necks open from behind. And other than that, then if you don't feel like walking around Whiterun, then honestly I suggest you just go ahead and head off to High Hrothgar, where the Graybeards reside, as I've said previously. We need to go to the Graybeards now because they called us, and when they call you, it's considered extremely high honor in this game. Like obviously part of the main quest storyline, just the general, it's considered a high honor because they're highly respected. They're masters of the way of the voice, as the Jarl said, which means they can shout really well, a lot better than us. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. I'm touring Whiterun here. A couple things you should note: that Adrian, the shop that she was in before, last episode I believe, when I was doing the smithing work, you can sell armor and weapons there. There's also a Whiterun trader here somewhere in Whiterun. That's an inn. That's the other door to the inn. There's a lot of buildings here you can explore. Other than that, if you're done, just go ahead and look at your map, see where you need to go. High Hrothgar, I'm going to cut this episode short because next episode I will title somewhere along the lines of On the Way to High Hrothgar. And this video has already included enough, just going back to the Jarl. So this video was Skyrim Playthrough 9. I hope you guys liked it. If you do, please give me a like, and if you did not like it, then dislike the video. Brought to you by SgamingR as always, and see you next episode, Skyrim Playthrough 10.